When we inspire schools, when we design schools that promote well-being, foster creativity, we're not just building buildings. We are actually building the foundation for India's future innovators, leaders, and change makers. Our partners today will talk about how to create spaces that increases engagement, support the natural learning process. And today we have a very good mix of audience. We have architects, designers, school leaders, educators. So this is a huge opportunity for you to understand, to ask questions, and to learn about creating environments that can truly serve our students' potential. So let's begin the journey of reimagining education through design. Please join me in welcoming our speakers from Fyra, Katya and Anu.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear us and see the small screens of us. We're going to start sharing our presentations soon, but I'll just introduce myself. I'm Katja Nordman, so greetings from Helsinki, and I work as a business director here at Fyra. So I don't take part in the actual design process, but I'm a part of our administrative team. Really nice to have you all online.
Hi, I'm Anu. I'm an interior architect, and I've been working for Fyra for almost 10 years now. And I was part of the concept design phase and the design team that was doing the New Nordic School that we're presenting today. But happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through our presentation first, just quickly a few words about us as Fyra and our design agency, and then we're going to go on to the actual case presentation. And if you should have any questions or things you're pondering or want to hear more from, we are welcoming those after the presentation. So feel free to ask all the questions then afterwards. But I'm going to start sharing my screen now. Hopefully it is going to be visible to all of you. I'm checking besides me, Anu at least has the presentation visible, so I'm hoping it's visible to all of you. So just as said, a few quick words about us. We are a design agency based in Helsinki, but working within the whole Finland and also within global projects. Mainly our design focus is within interior architecture and architecture. So most of our designers are either interior architects or architects. Then we have also digital design, 3D design, and so forth in-house. The sectors we work within are hospitality, so hotels, restaurants. Then we have office project workplaces, some retail projects as well. We tend to do concept design in all of our projects, so that's sort of never a separate thing. Then we work within real estate development, which means that we usually work for the property owners, so having a bit of a different designer hat on us. And then learning environments and architecture. We're going to talk about a bit more about learning environments today, hence the audience and hence the subject. But these are the sectors otherwise as well we work within. We have a very holistic approach to every project, whether it's a smaller scale or a larger scale project. We tend to look at it as a big, sort of look at the big picture. And we want to have a positive impact on people's well-being. And we truly feel that spaces tend to have an impact on people's well-being, and if they're carefully designed and taking into account all the user needs, whether it's a kindergarten for small individuals or a hotel or a office building, we always want to start from the holistic approach and the user needs. Functionalities are always in the core of our design. Obviously, as we have interior architects, most of us here, so the visuality is not of a smaller significance, but they work together, and we need to not only have visually beautiful spaces, but spaces that work for the people who use the spaces. And these things are both the visuality and the functionality are very, very tied together. Fyra as a company, we just turned 15 years last week, so we are in our teenage. We have 4 founders who are in the picture here, still working 100% for Fyra. And altogether, we're 25 professionals. In Finnish scale, we are a big interior architecture company here. Finnish market obviously is small in scale, and therefore we are among the 3 biggest interior architecture companies in Finland. We have, as said, interior architects, and then 3D designers and concept designers. I already talked about the fields we work in, so let's not take that again. But as said, we want to understand the users of the spaces we design. We want to have a very sort of human and life-centric approach, and we want to understand the people using the space, because from that we can understand the functionalities of the space and make sure we design it for right kind of use. And we also want to start the project at hand from the insight and the understanding, so that we are truly able to make sure that we design functional spaces where people feel like they belong there. Then let's not talk more about our awards, but as Ashish said, we are an awarded company. Just to point out, we're going to present the New Nordic School project, and 2022 we actually got an award for that project as well, a silver award for the IFI Design Distinction Awards in learning category. So that's also an awarded project we're going to present here. A few words about our overall design philosophy. I mentioned insight and what it means to us, that we need to always understand the surroundings where we work in, where the space is, the architecture of the building the space is in, the location and the other surroundings, and also understand the history and the culture of the building, so that the interiors work together with the exteriors and the architecture, and they're not separate things. And we want to sort of bring into life the characteristics of the space. And as said, we truly want to deep dive into the users and understand their behavior in the space, and the culture of the people using the space, whatever the space is. And in this case example we're going to have, it's obviously a daycare, so understanding the behavior of the children as well as also the personnel, and all the insight we gather or have as background information helps us to understand and explore the company cultures, or the target audience, customer or user demographics, and sort of make sure we understand who is in the space and who is gonna use the space. And our design needs to resonate with the values, the culture, and the needs of the people. And we always want to make sure that we are in deep understanding of these, and therefore can foster the authenticity and create spaces that truly have a meaning on a deeper level. I talked about already earlier about holistic approach, and we want to have a positive impact on people's well-being. This is very important to us, and the functionalities in the space make sure we truly do so. We want to enhance people's happiness, whether it's children or adults or whatever the target audience or the target group. Groundbreaking is a big word, but we still feel that we want to create spaces that are groundbreaking and where people do truly want to belong and choose to be together in the spaces we design. Then of the user experience, we need to understand it to be able to serve it. and it sort of works as a baseline for all of our design projects as well. Whether it's employees in an office building or employees in a daycare, or the children, or the workers, or the hotel customers or restaurant customers, the best end result comes from functionality and visuality working together. And with these tools, we can make sure that we can create memorable experiences in the spaces. Then sustainability, not only environmental sustainability. Obviously, environmentally responsible spaces are of the essence. This is something we take very seriously. The world is in a very difficult stage, and we want to make sure that all of our designs take all the sustainability questions very seriously. Social and environmental responsibility. We build our projects around circular economy, sort of trying to minimize the negative environmental impact and make sure that we preserve and reutilize as much as possible, whether it's materials, whether it's furniture. We want to make sure that we don't demolish anything that's reusable still, and make sure that all the materials and all the furniture are chosen carefully and sustainably. And also social responsibility, equally important. We need to have inclusive spaces. The space needs to be designed to be safe. It needs to feel welcoming for all the people using the space. And health and comprehensive well-being need to be also taking into account. This goes for all the steps of our design process, these sustainability questions. Then I give the microphone to my colleague here. Anu, you can continue from here.
Yeah, this is just a framework of our concept design that we do. Just highlighting the stuff that Katja just said, that we really, in each and every project that we do, small or big scale, we're looking to kind of the location and surroundings. So we interior designers, we want to really resonate with the whole architecture of the building and the location that we are. So we don't kind of want to create spaces that really differentiate the architecture and interiors, in a sense that we want to kind of build coherent experiences and visualities that they feel natural and go under the same kind of concept of the building. So we really deep dive also into the architecture of the building. And even though in this case that we are presenting today, we weren't the architects of the project, we did the interiors, that we had really like we did cooperate quite a lot with the architect of the building to make sure that the whole kind of things that we design is in line also with their work. So that is also very important to us, to be a part of the bigger group that it also has the acoustic designers, architects, engineers, and everyone involved. So we really approach is very cooperative as well. As our holistic approach, we really deep dive into the brand of our customers. In this case, it was New Nordic School, but also the building owner, which is a gaming company that I'm gonna tell you more about later on. But we really wanna make sure that the experiences mission is very clarified, that we are always trying to keep the goal in mind, that we don't kind of lose the really like the diamond that we're creating, that we always try to create the concept so clear in our heads with our customers and that we really keep in mind what we're doing and who is this project designed for, and the users using the space, that we all like keep in mind the meaningful things and solutions are taken into account. The spatial functions, of course, as interior architect, we have a backbone in functionality, and we try to minimize kind of things that are not necessary. So in a Finnish culture and in more of a Scandinavian culture, we really think of how we can do great things, but with less kind of material, with less kind of overwhelming visuality. And that's something that whole kind of space types and principles and everything is that we really look into the functions that we need, all the services that we need, and that goes always first, and then we think of the visuality later on. So we might want to make sure that the kind of the flow of the building is well secured and well thought of, and then of course the whole culture and the community has their own voice, and we really want to understand that as well, and the needs of the user groups are taken into account. So there's a lot of things that we look into, but of course this is a part of the designer, whether you're an architect or an interior architect. This is the basic framework of doing our projects anyway. So a lot of things to consider before even deep diving any visual things. And then I'm gonna share more of the new Nordic School by the Sea projects that was actually done in 2021. It was for our client, was basically a gaming company called Supercell, that they wanted to create a completely new building in this very central location in Helsinki, that is in Jätkäsaari. And it's not actually far from our office, and it has beautiful seashore location, and it's a wooden building, and it's completely wooden block of buildings. They're quite new. The recent one was built last year, the last part of it, and we had a nice little project of 300 square meters, and Supercell really wanted to provide a daycare mostly for their personnel in the gaming company. And the new Nordic School was providing the actual
Operations.
Sorry.
Operations
Of this project and so forth. We were doing a lot of things for Supercell, but as well really having great conversations with New Nordic School and deep diving into their life and their learning in like philosophies and so forth. But as I said, the Wood City block is a massive wooden structure block that was designed Anttinen Oivo Arkkitehdit, AOA Architects, and that was a huge project in itself, and it had the material of CLT material that is very visible in the whole architecture. And our design process, we wanted to create a very functional space, keep in mind the flow of our functions, but we really wanted to support the children's development and create very inspiring and joyful daycare for them. And we started the project actually having really nice material from children architecture school, Arkki, here in Helsinki, they had mapped a lot of workshops with the children, and we learned from that material what the kids say that they need, and we really had good conversation with all the personnel of the New Nordic School. So we really deep dived into their daily life to understand what solutions would benefit kids and the personnel in this project. And of course, the wooden building kind of gave the material in itself that we wanted to create a wooden daycare in itself, that we really wanted to have authentic, safe, durable materials in this building. As I said before, our kind of backbone in Scandinavian simplicity is always there, and I guess that's the culture of northern parts here, that we tend to kind of really have the functionality first, but to have really clean lines in our forms using the natural materials. And I think we prefer that. We have quite famous architect from that might be somebody you remember, but we have this Alvar Aalto heritage in our Finnish culture, and he was very powerful in our kind of design lines that we learn from our schools. And I guess that's sort of in itself, that simplicity and the material that he used to use, and that kind of creates us Finns that sort of DNA in our design work that might really be quite different from Indian or Asian culture. But to us, it's a very natural thing to really consider all the solutions as what we actually need. Don't over-clutter spaces. Don't use colors that are creating visually to over flourishing the spaces. So our goal is kind of to avoid unnecessary sensory overload in this project specifically. And we really wanted to give spaces for the kids to have their own environment, their own inspiration. And in this building, the sea location gave quite a lot of inspiration to our color palette and our design that we did. So we really wanted to use natural materials and be inspired by the sea location. Ui. Menikö se joku välistä?
No.
Oh yeah, and then there's just framework that we do, the wood city architecture from the block. You can see it from the first picture. It's strongly used in the facade and in the whole structure of the building. And you can also see that it's very different during winter time. The whole area that is located, you can see the sea is actually partly covered in ice. And in the summertime, it can be green and quite a lot of wood, different light comes from the surroundings. And our kind of approach in this project was to really learn the philosophy behind New Nordic School and their concept that they had done before, and really focus on the wellness as a key driver for the kids and the personnel. Then as Finnish learning environment and building regulations, of course, is very something that we follow also in this project, and we try to keep those in our core, but we kind of tweaked a lot of the ready-made solutions for the kids, as in all of the all of the furniture used are very safe, but we wanted to tweak them with our small little design details to give them more of a personal touch. And this is a project that we really we didn't have that sort of budget that mostly Helsinki daycares have a tight budget and they have a strict way of doing things, even though they really are creative and really really beautiful places that are designed for the kids and the personnel as well. But in this case, as designing for a gaming company as well, they wanted to make sure that all of the solutions are not standard in a way, that they wanted to focus on the inspiring part of the whole building. So Supercell is a building full of creatives and coders, and they wanted to make sure that kids using the space are really inspired by graphics and small details. So we were really looking into using a different small design details that you cannot really see in most of the kindergartens here in Helsinki. And of course, the kids' participatory things that we did with the kids and the employees were really important part of the project. And then I'm going to look into the design drivers that we had during that time that we did the concept frame. Of course, the wood is a big part of it, but we were really inspired by the curved and rounded forms at that time. That was part of the idea of using a lot of be inspired with the nature, with the water, and we wanted to create a kind of soft palette, but also using specific colors in each and every room types that we had to kind of differentiate the different functionality spaces. I'm going to show you how through a layout how we kind of did that. But we wanted to make sure that we really take into consideration children and their children's scale in mind. So we have small things and we have bigger things, and we wanted to give that balance of the rounded edges throughout the spaces. And here you can see how we kind of, in our drafts from bathroom, we also had the rounded forms also in there in the beginning, and you can see that some photos of the ready spaces in the end, but also keep in mind that all the colors that we use and the materials are very natural, safe, and durable in itself, but we didn't actually need to use strictly as in a common design, daycare design that we do, very like these are kind of high-end materials. So the budget here isn't the same than in a big project. So we really had the opportunity to use a wooden flooring, for instance, and really high-end fine carpets and so forth. So that you can see in the outcome that it's all the details are specifically made only for this project. And as for the artwork that you saw, we have it derives also from the nature, Finnish nature, and the landscapes, and very joyful things that were done. Were actually done in a graphic and illustration company that does a lot of work for Supercell gaming company as well. They called Pinata, and they are a small Finnish company based also in Helsinki. As for the layout, this is what I mean, that we have different areas and different colors. That in the entrance area is the terracotta red area that has the kind of the functions for kids' clothes and backpacks, and they dress for outdoors and they come in through that kind of specific visual area, and the corner next to it is a blue room. It's for napping and more relaxing atmosphere. And the big area on the right side is a kitchen area. They actually bake a lot of things in that kitchen with the kids. That's also a learning environment. Also, it's also for nutrition is very important in a Finnish daycares and here as well. So the kids can be part of making the food in some cases, and that the area underneath it, it's for the bigger kids, it's for the activities, it's for the for a lot of like different things during the day. Also, the yellow room next to it is activity room, but it's for smaller kids, more safer and more tightly like space for the really small kids under 2. And in the center, you can see the bathrooms and the smaller rooms for office room and personal room. As a small area in the center. And in this space, we have around 30 to 35 kids max. So this is a small daycare. But the interesting part is the fact that they actually have an outdoor playground area in the 4th floor of the Wood City building. So I think it's around 7 or 8 stories high, the Wood City building, Supercell building, that they have all their gaming company personnel, all the activities and operations are in that. But the 4th floor actually has this area that's for the kids. But not only for the kids, it's also partly for the Supercell personnel. So there's a peak of it, as you can see, and actually in, I don't know how you guys do it, but in Finland, they always start their kind of day having also outdoor moments before lunch. So they have always, it can be rainy, but doesn't matter. We always have the part of the day that we have our kids outside, and also we usually tend to end our day also outside. So the kids are actually back and forth in the indoor spaces, but they use an elevator to get to this playground. And it was also very well designed by this muscle planning company, landscape architects, and they have a lot of different fun activities there. But the fun small fact is that during the winter, Supercell Gaming Company usually builds a hockey rink to the area that has now the football field. So the personnel can have their hockey moments, but they can also see their kids playing during the day outside. So that's something that you cannot really see anywhere else in Helsinki or in Finland. But this is a special project, of course. But these are a few photos from inside the end result. This on the left, you can see a peek of the yellow room. That's for smaller kids, and the activities are different functions for the bigger kids are always part of that too, but we separated them for having a different times of the day to have more security. And then of course there's a lot of different things in the big room, but we really wanted to also emphasize the idea of kids having really flexible place to have they can use the space differently during the different hours of the day or even the year. So kind of understanding that this space is destined to kind of transform for the kids. It's not it's not for being pretty, it's for the kids and for the games and for the personnel to use as they wish and transform during the years that what are the needs in the future. We need to kind of transform and do the updates to that. But one thing that I really want to emphasize also, that in daycares generally acoustics can be really poor. So I think that was something that we really put our effort to, also with the acoustic designer, that the whole ceiling is very acoustic, so that it all not only looks peaceful, but it's actually in the soundscape is very silent. And that was something that we really wanted to value in this case. And there's a few more peaks from the end result, and also the bathrooms, of course, for the small scale, and the illustrations that can be found in different areas of the space. A little surprise for the kids throughout the day. And this is the red entrance area. We wanted to make it more popping out, more energetic in a way. And as you can see, actually the furniture can be reorganized as they wish, and have a more of a sporty activities if needed as well. But that's it, basically. We got to the end, and we're really happy to, if you have any questions, I think we can look into the chat if you have anything.
We can
use to unmute and ask your questions as you feel free, or you can leave them in the chat box as well.
Yeah.
And we will share our contact information. I can actually type them now in the chat as well. If you come across any questions or things you're pondering afterwards, we'll give our contact information, so you'll be able to drop us a few lines via email if there's anything you're wondering. And we can share the presentation through the organizers also, so that you'll be able to receive it afterwards. I guess this was also a possibility. I will share our emails here.
I think we
No
got a
question.
Yes, please. I'm not sure who's. Did someone want to ask a question?
I guess no questions for now. I just shared our email addresses if it's something that's easier to be sort of get back to the questions later on. We are happy to reply them also via email afterwards.
I think we got a good picture of how Finland and Fyra gives importance to so many things before the final look and feel. There's so much that goes in, and which is important to get the space together, and how it's important to check for whatever's going in, whether it's minimal, whether it's actually required, whether it's serving a purpose, is it matching the environment outside. I think we got a good picture of all of that today.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
And we were really happy to be a part of this project a few years back, because our backbone is as we talked about, our design philosophy. In all our cases, we always want to understand the users, and here it was actually also done very widely so through the architecture school for children who had these workshops for the children. So it was really nice truly make sure that we have also listened to the children and got the children's opinions of what their hopes and wishes are for a sort of ideal daycare. So it was really nice to start the project with that background information.
Yes, absolutely.
So generally, colors are a very big. It's so specific, right? Everyone can have a different meaning for color. Why are the choice of colors so important for children specifically? If we talk of the age group of preschoolers, is there a reason why certain colors are required to be used? If you could throw some light on that.
Not really. I think we don't have that. In some cultures, of course, the certain colors have specific means, but in Finland, we actually don't have that sort of ideas. That the colors that you see in nature, all the colors are there in nature. So it doesn't really be because we have the 4 seasons. It's very something that our landscape really changes during the winter time to fall, when all the leaves are falling. The whole scenery might be red and yellow, and it's very different during the season. So I don't think in Finland we have that idea that certain colors are for specific things. That we, us Finns and in Scandinavia, are really looking into, like 10 years back, I think we were really sensitive of using bright colors. And our customers were really like, should we just go for the gray or black and white? And so they were really, really kind of scared of using a lot of colors. Somehow that was our like the time. But now I think in Finland as well, as we do a lot more creative work in our interior design work now than we did like when I started 20 years back. Because then I think overall the time was different. We didn't have that many interior designers working closely together with architects. So in a sense, our design kind of mindset is changing throughout the years. And I think partly what was affected by the color scale also in this project was that me and my colleague Elisa, that was doing the project very hands-on during that time, that we actually visited quite a lot of different daycares, and we understood that certain colors in the floors can really kind of be better than different colors, and the color green was somehow very good color to hide all the kind of different colors that were when kids are doing the artwork or whatever. Somehow the damned green color that we used in the floors was very good color to hide all the kind of scattered things that was on the floor. So that color to the flooring were actually very functional based decision that we did, not visually based, but functionally, because we understood that that was a really good color when we had a good conversation with the personnel of different daycares in Finland. I don't know how it goes in Asia, or how do you feel about color? But to us, this project is very, very colorful project, and it might be to you, it might be so that
toned down.
Very toned down. I don't know, but to us, it's very colorful, and I don't know if that's a little bit sad also that we have that sort of thing. But in Finland, people are still very much. We don't have that much color used in interiors that we would, as designers, would like to use. But it's a small step for all, like always trying to add a little bit more color and more happiness and more boldness in our project. But it's a long run to get to more. Finland would be more colorful interior interior country.
Sure. So yeah, can we take, are there any more questions? Is everyone good for now? Would you like to send in your questions later?
Yeah, and we're really happy to
Here's one
answer
question.
all
Yeah, we
questions
have
later also, if that's
we
more
have
easier.
we have a question here. How does storytelling fit into Finland's broader vision of reimagining learning for the 21st century? I think storytelling is not only reimagining learning; it's reimagining spaces overall, and there's more more focus put on the storytelling as well as the concept phase. As I said in the beginning, we do concept design in all of our projects, and storytelling is a very crucial part of that. There needs to be a story, whether it's a learning environment or a hotel or even an office building. There needs to be the story behind it. So I think that comes more crucial all the time, and that sort of our clients also know to ask for it. And also, if you go to property development sector, that is also very important that the real estate has a story. If it's a new building, obviously the story is different than from a building that has history or so. But the story is behind, and we need to sort of have a narrative to be able to grasp a concept.
And to me, as a designer, I feel like it's always so much more difficult to create a narrative and a storyline for a building that is new. It's easier to
Take it
be
from the history.
inspired by history and the location when it has a history and some sort of personality that is grown through years of urban culture or whatever. But it's very difficult task to create a good storyline for new areas in Helsinki. And that's not only that we struggle with that, it's also the architects and the planners of City of Helsinki or regional things. But I think it's more easy to inspire of something that has some roots already.
We have two more questions, I think, here. Are there any national or school level policies in Finland that encourage storytelling as a part of curriculum innovation? This I cannot, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, we have I think in Finland, it's a huge topic here to how we should renovate our old buildings and how to create new ones for learning environments. And it's something that I think it's in all media, it's very highly discussed topic. And I feel like the overall aim is to create like better, effective, and very much wellness focused learning environments.
Yeah.
So we want to provide a very healthy locations and very good location for the learning, not only for the kids, but for the personnel. I think the big like crown jewelry of everything should be wellness. And wellness and sustainability is very much in focus here.
We have three more questions, additional question to the previous one, but having school level policies or national policies, we're not maybe the right people to answer those. Do Finnish educators balance narrative driven learning with standardized academic expectations? This is also a very difficult question for us because we tend to look at things from the spatial design point of view. So actually, going into the academic expectations are maybe as architects or we're not the right super good questions, really good questions, but maybe we're not the ones to answer these. Maybe an easier one, how does location shape your choice of design? It shapes it a lot. As we talked about the surroundings, in this particular case, it was very close to the sea, also New Nordic School by the sea. The sea shaped the design choices, but it's the surroundings and the location as well, and the building itself shapes them.
Of course, if our customer has a really like a solid brand that they want to focus on. That brand and the visuality of spaces should not be like cross-fitting things. So I think the overall problem is how to navigate so that the architecture and brand and the location, everything kind of flows together. So I think that's the kind of the most difficult task, creating the visuality. But as I said, that the visuality is based on different things for us. So actually, we focus on creating like all of the solution, all the functions, all the things need to be there first in the same bowl, and then we shake it up, and then we understand what the visuality should be. So it's based on many things, but sometimes it can be inspired by the location, and it creates the easiest line to follow with the brand, but sometimes not that easy. But location is very crucial for us.
Then we have, I will throw this to you because I'm not the right, I'm the business person here. So can you throw some light on what are the recent trends in designing of institutional buildings in European markets?
I think it's flexibility in overall. I think as we have learned during the years that we have done a lot of new architecture in Finland, and then we understand that, okay, this didn't really work. We tried to create something very different, like open areas with all the kids in the same spaces, but actually the kids cannot focus or whatever. We have done a lot of good design in Finland, learning environments, very good things that we're really happy about. But we need to learn always from the be very like straightforward also, that we did this, we designed this, but it wasn't the best solution. So we need to kind of always learn and take new things when we go to the future. We need to be very transformative, because I think in everything that we do, we have created a work environment for 1,000 people working in the 7th-story building. But in 2 years, it might not even exist anymore. Maybe something happened, new COVID or whatever. So we need to be prepared, like we didn't actually know how to be prepared before. So we need to kind of create spaces and architecture and design to be very transformative and very sustainable way to create new things. So we always strive to do better things, also for the learning, also for the acoustics, also in every aspect. So I think learning as a designer is very crucial also, not for the kids, not for in learning environments, but in all of our cases, we need to always kind of evolve and do better and look very much into the future.
Yeah,
we don't know the future needs of personnel or how it's going to transform, but we need to give the frames to evolve when time is there. So I think making future-proof solutions would be very good thing to consider.
Then we have one more. I'm not sure if we are the right ones to answer this, but I would say definitely, are there opportunities for international collaboration to explore storytelling as a tool for reimagining learning?
Yes,
I'm sure.
Interesting. Yeah.
There are several opportunities, and for educators here. So yes, I definitely feel so, and it should be.
Yeah, absolutely should be
an international collaboration as well, taking learnings from countries and continents to other ones. So absolutely. I definitely
we would be thrilled to learn about the solutions and insight that you have compared to ours. It would be perfect.
Exactly. Hey, I think we have 2 minutes left. I think now we tackled the questions that came. I want to emphasize that feel free to email us later on if something comes to your mind in terms of Fyra as a company or
specific things. that you
specific
ponder.
things about the case. So
Yes.
we are here to answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.